Hello everyone! Ang gagawin ko pong video ngayon ay about how to sponsor your parents and grandparents dito sa Canada. Close na po yung pag-submit ng 2020 Interest to Sponsor Form noong November 3, 2020 pa po. But may good news po ako sa inyo dahil sa 2021 ang CIC or Citizenship Immigration Canada will open the Interest to Sponsor Form again. This year, nag-accept po sila ng 10,000 application but sa 2021, mag-a-accept po sila ng 30,000 new applications. That's 20,000 more application next year. Sobrang dami. Update ko po kayo pag in-announce po nila yung exact date. So please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe sa channel po namin and also click the notification bell icon para update po kayo sa mga immigration topics dito sa Canada. About sa pag-process, if you submit interest to sponsor form and you're invited to submit a complete application, you can sponsor your parents and grandparents to become a permanent residents of Canada. If you do, you must support them and their dependents financially. Ang ibig sabihin po nun ay dapat sapat ang annual income nyo para masuportahan ang parents and grandparents nyo including dependents nila na kasama sa application. And make it sure they don't need social assistance from the government, meaning they must healthy and hindi sila magdedepende sa government financially dito sa Canada. Ang fees ng sponsoring a parent or a grandparent is starting from 1,050 Canadian dollars. Depende po yan sa taong i-sponsor nyo. So, at ang processing time ay 20 to 24 months. Depende kung walang any follow-up documents na kailangan i-submit or i-request ng CIC or Citizenship of Immigration Canada. It means po, pag kumpleto yung documents na pinasa nyo, medyo mapabilis po siguro yung pag-process. Pero pag may kulang po, syempre expect po natin na medyo delay po. Who is eligible to sponsor a parents or a grandparents? You can sponsor your own parents and grandparents if you're at least 18 years old. Second, if you live in Canada. Third, you're a Canadian citizen or a permanent resident of Canada or a person registered in Canada as an Indian under the Canadian Act. Ito po yung importante. You have enough money to support the person you want to sponsor. Ito po yung mga guidelines for 2021 kung how much ang dapat na annual income nyo versus the number of persons na i-sponsor nyo. CIC required 3 income tax years right before the day you apply. Meaning po nun ay dapat po magbigay po kayo ng notice of assessment for at least 3 years. So kung nag-apply po kayo for 2021, then you need notice of assessment for 2020, 2019, and 2018. Ito po yung guidelines. So important note po. To become a sponsor, you must promise to financially take care of the persons you are sponsoring for a period of time. CIC called this promise an undertaking. The undertaking commits you to provide financial support for your sponsored family members for 20 years, starting when they become permanent residents, and repaying any provincial social assistance. Money from the government you sponsored and family members get during that time. Also, you and your sponsored family members need to agree to a certain responsibilities during the undertaking period. CIC called this the sponsorship agreement. The sponsorship agreement means that you'll provide for the basic needs of your sponsor family members like food, shelter, etc. except basic medication like check-up or lab test. Kasi po, sagot po ng government yun once na magkaroon na sila ng health card. The person you sponsor will make every effort to support themselves and their family members, meaning po na if kaya po nila na pa na mag-work ay pwede po para masuportahan ang sarili nila under dependents. When you apply, you'll have to complete and sign a form that includes the undertaking and the sponsorship agreements. Kung mag-a-apply po naman kayo from Quebec, ay kailangan nyo po ma-meet ang Quebec's immigration sponsorship requirements. Attach ko po yung link na ito in the description below. Okay, so dito na tayo. Who cannot sponsor a parent or a grandparent? You cannot sponsor your parents and a grandparents if you're less than 18 years old. Second, if you live in Canada, if you won't live in Canada when you apply to sponsor your parents and grandparents, or when your parents and grandparents become permanent residents, meaning di na po kayo titira sa Canada during the application, or pag na-PR na sila. Kasi your primary residential address must be in Canada when you submit your application and until CIC make a decision on your application. Third, you're not a Canadian citizen or a permanent resident of Canada or a person registered in Canada as an Indian under the Canadian Indian Act. Fourth, you're a temporary resident and only visiting, studying, or working in Canada on a visa or a working permit. Your permanent residence application is still in the process. So, hindi rin po yung required. Required po kasi na dapat PR na po kayo pag nag-sponsor kayo. And your proof of income, ito po yung napaka-importante, yung proof of income nyo. Shows you don't have enough money to support the person you want to sponsor. Ito po yung hindi nyo pa na-meet yung required annual income versus the number of persons na i-sponsor nyo. You may not eligible to sponsor your parents and grandparents if, ito pa po, another, you are in jail, prison, or penitentiary. And second, you didn't pay back like immigration loan, a performance bond, and a court-ordered family support payments such as alimony, child support, and you didn't give the financial support you agreed to when you signed a sponsorship or agreement to sponsor someone else in the past. You declared bankruptcy and not discharged. You receive a social assistance for a reasons other than disability. You were convicted of a violent criminal offense, any offense against a relative, or any sexual offense inside or outside of Canada. And you can't legally stay in Canada and must leave the country because you receive a removal order. There may be the other reasons that may you be ineligible to sponsor your parents and grandparents if CIC determine you're not eligible to sponsor. They will tell you why. Who you can sponsor. You can sponsor your own parents and grandparents related by blood or by adoption. It means legal adoption po, okay? In case of divorce or separation, you can sponsor your parents and your grandparents, spouses, or conjugal or common law partners. Kung separate po ang parents nyo legally, pwede nyo pong common law partner nila. In the application, you can only include your brothers and sister or half brothers and sister kung qualify as dependent children. You may sponsor more than one person or couple if you meet the income requirements for all the people you want to sponsor under dependents, like spouses, partner, and children. The people you sponsor must also eligible show they meet the eligibility requirements. Your parents and grandparents and their dependents must provide all required forms and documents with their application. Attach ko po yung link sa description below kung saan nyo pwedeng i-download yung mga forms for this application. And any additional information CIC request during the processing including medical exam, police certificates, biometrics. Ito po yung mga fingerprints and photos nyo for your application. Ito po yung mga example na pwede nyong ma-sponsor. Sponsoring your mother and father together as couple. Pwede po yun. So the application, one of them, either your mother or your father, ay magiging main applicant, also called the principal applicant sa application form. And the other will be designated as a dependent. So if ang mother mo ang principal applicant, your father will be the dependent. And if ang father mo ang principal applicant, your mother will be the dependent. Ganun po yun. And if you have brother or sister, you can include them in the application only if they qualify as a dependent children. Ang dependent children ay yung mga kapatid mong under 22 years old at wala pang mga asawa or partner. If they're older than the age limit or they don't meet their all requirements, they can be added to your parents' application as dependent children. Kailangan po nila mag-apply ng sarili nila sa skilled worker or through express entry, pero next time po natin pag-usapan yan. Ito po yung example number 2. Sponsoring your father, your stepmother, and their son. You can sponsor your father, his spouse, at kanilang anak or mga anak. Your half-siblings. Ito may mga half-sister, half-brother na tinatawag sa application. Your father must be the principal applicant kasi related siya sa'yo. Your stepmother can't be the principal applicant. So, kailangan mo siya ilagay sa application as your father's dependent. Your step-siblings can be added as a dependent only if they qualifies as a dependent child. And then, example number 3, sponsoring your parents, your mother, and your stepfather. In this situation, kailangan mong mag-submit ng 2 separate sponsorship application. 1 per couple. On your grandparents' application, one of them, either your grandmother or your grandfather, will be designated as the principal applicant. Then the other will be designated as a dependent. On your mother's application, your mother must be the principal applicant kasi related sa'yo. Her partner can't be the principal applicant. He will be as your mother's dependent sa application. Who you can sponsor. Hindi mo pwedeng sponsor ang parents and grandparents ng asawa mo or your mga in-laws. Pero you can be a cosigner on your in-laws application. At you cannot sponsor someone who is inadmissible to Canada. This means they are not allowed to come to Canada under Canada's immigration law. Okay, so yung video na po ito ay part 1 pa lang po ng how to sponsor the parents and grandparents. So my next video is how to process step by steps, and this is based on our experience. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe po to our channel if you're new to our channel, and press the notification icon bell for more upcoming videos. Kasi napaka-importante po nyon para ma-notify po kayo kung may another videos po ako na immigration topic. Okay, thank you for watching and see you in my next vlogs. All links that I mentioned, I will put it down below. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.